Welcome to Tech This Way.
You want to do a bit of a mic check? Well, I'm sure
Of
you know
course,
these
yeah.
things already. Yeah, I think that's pretty much.
Yesterday I did one also. My neighbor, you know Ija Mohan?
No.
Okay. He's in advertising. He does customized t-shirts and all.
Okay.
He also started one called I'm Assuming.
Ah.
And then he's got his network lah. He knows people, bring them on and talk for so long. I say, hey, no more than half an hour, else I'm not coming, man. Then did that for half an hour. Then I had to chabut straight away to do my own live stream. So when you say how it's going well because Roshan has got 31,000 bloody network on LinkedIn. I don't know how LinkedIn allows that. He told me last 2 years ago was 24,000. I got a shock.
Yeah.
31,000. So I guess LinkedIn has got no limit or
I guess so.
whatever it is.
Yeah. But it's good reach lah. You know, there's good
Yeah,
reach.
so that's why we got people from Jordan, from Saudi Arabia listening and commenting, oh, thank you, I want to be an entrepreneur. And this, I'm saying, what is this all, man? Then he told me 31,000. I say, crazy, man. So people from, because he's like, so LinkedIn has got a service. I think you pay less than 100 ringgit a month. They give you a broadcast studio, all online, and you can do it live stream, and it goes to your LinkedIn. Now you can cross promote. It can go to Facebook also.
Yeah.
So that is actually, if you want to do that live, no harm,
Yeah, that's true.
But then you have to do
Maybe
consistent one time only,
Yeah,
so
correct.
people get habitual. So we pick 7 o'clock at night now.
Okay. For your live
On a
show.
Friday, Friday
Right.
some more.
So, yesterday lah. Was the thing last night.
I'll send you the link. So, but I think it's too long. So, need to adjust the format a bit because Roshan is a content guy, but his content is like you are inviting someone talk about you things is all right. So that's for me being in the content space, right? People's attention span is short, so you cannot do something for so long unless it's Elon Musk or the Grab co-founder. Very few people are Joel, Kylie can command maybe 40-minute slot lah.
I don't know.
Everyone else,
If I talk to Karamjit, it will probably
no
be
lah,
an hour and a
nonsense
half
lah,
lah.
nowhere lah. So it's like, it's shorter. So because you want people to watch it, right, and want to watch the next show.
Yeah.
To me, the time length is too long because people are squeezed for time. But Ija believes long form works.
Yeah.
He finds himself consuming long form. So his interviews are an hour to an hour 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But he starts your childhood memories and I say I got no interest in people knowing my stuff lah.
Alah, can lah, little bit lah.
Can lah,
I'm
but
sure.
yeah.
No, but I understand the format because for me too, I don't think it's for everybody the long format.
Yeah.
But personally, it's something that you turn on the drive or on the LRT, right? You kind of I don't want to say background noise lah, but it's kind of background, right? And you don't like sit down and concentrate for an hour. You can't. But I think there are certain areas over the
maybe
period,
can,
right?
but then the other person, like you have to already have a name for people. They say, oh, it's Amran, like so it's hard to because Kylie can, especially if it's in a tech space. So you're not yet known, and I'm just being honest with you because we know each other.
Fair enough, yeah.
You're not yet known as a social commentator, whether it's positive or not. Like you can always temper like Trump lah. I don't care, but at least your name is known for something, but not yet. So you're straight away trying to do this, so there's no strong hook yet.
Yeah.
And then even Chong from BFM, he has this also. No, he's called Do More, I think. But he brings on BFM Malay and Mark Cheng and some interesting fellow CEOs. I talk about things from lifestyle, technology, everything all in. But because Chong got a name and he's on BFM, right?
Yes,
and
correct,
for years already.
Correct. Yeah.
So, but even his videos are because his form is he keeps it to about an hour. But I said, Chuang, so within the hour, let's say you talked to the other day, Rafiza, right? And it was like over an hour. But then you have to do the hard work after that to say that, take out maybe 3 clips that were the highlight for you.
Correct,
Rafiza
correct.
on being on the fringe of startups. Say, what does that mean? And right? So the headline is Rafiza on the fringe of startups to now trying to, ignite them or whatever.
Yeah,
and you record that small clip and what she's trying to do at Cradle. So that part maybe is about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, correct.
You press up because it takes work, but that one you get more people watch that than the whole interview. So, you already have the content, right?
Yeah, correct,
but then you got to do the hard work to identify the hard work is actually getting them to come and share with you. So you've already done that.
Yeah.
But then you got to, and then if you got no time, find some intern or somebody within your family or your kids. I'll pay you 50 ringgit or 100 ringgit, do this for me. And because when you're recording, you're listening to them, have a notebook where you put down a timer. 17 minutes. I just put 17 minutes, double star, she said, startup fringe. And then to go back then later to these were the 5 parts you had stars on, right? Say, I think I want to do this. Then you straight away go, and the timestamp what. So you tell someone, go to there and extract this out. And then it's much easier for people to not listen to the whole thing, or you're not listening to the whole thing again. And as a journalist, that's what I do. So when I'm recording interview with you, I will put double star.
So
I want to know, and then I'll
put
start with this, right? And something like that. So
it could be something to try.
that's a good tool. So have a note. Even I'm putting down notes because as you are talking there, maybe you want to ask me something, and like yesterday's example, because I realized that while he brings guests on, it's a chance for him to express his point of view about things also. So sometimes his preamble longer than my answer, which is fine because this is free flow, everything, right?
Yeah.
So, but then I wanted to take notes. He said this, then later, because then by the time we finish, I forget 2 of the things he asked me.
But don't you
he
think,
also may forget.
But don't you think that kind of breaks the flow a bit? Because you are trying to note it down a bit.
But no. For me, it's just I'm not like taking long notes.
But at least just timestamps.
Yeah, and like now this I don't do timestamp. You should do. So for me, I'm just putting
just
down.
Topics
You were saying your Karam, I want to ask you about this. So I just write down the point you said, right? Because at the end of your monologue, you may forget what are the 2 things you said. I already remember one. Then we move on. And then maybe people watching say, hey, why you didn't answer the first question? So for me, it's simple. I want to write down now. My point is to put down what you are asking me, right? So I don't forget. And maybe while you are, maybe I'll ask you a question. And while you're answering, I may put down that point just to ask you again or whatever. So, but for you, it's important because then you don't waste the effort. Because you've put in effort, right? Just remember timestamp while you're talking. Just take down notes. They said this, they said that. And then later go back and cut out, slice and dice it and post that out on your Facebook or your Twitter. And you will see that more people of your LinkedIn, more people are watching that 3-4 minutes. Because it's not intimidating. The heading is intriguing. I want to listen to it. It's only 4 minutes. Don't even touch 5 minutes. 3 minutes to 4 minutes.
So in fact, that one, so in fact for that one,
Okay.
my inspiration was people like Joe Rogan, right? Because they've got the long form ones. And then you go into YouTube and there will be the 4 minute, 5 minutes, videos. So for me, I just need to find the intern to go and in fact, I have already engaged somebody, like a couple of kids, to let them go through it. And then they give me it's almost like episodes, right? And then I pick the ones that, hey, can you put
so,
this
but
together?
that's the thing, right? Because they are ignorant, they don't know what's important. You cannot have them. It's easier for you and it's easy their job also, right? Don't make them listen to the whole thing.
But it's first pass, at least the first pass. Because
pass,
lacking of anything at all, that's one way of doing it for me.
Lacking. But for subsequent one, I think if you just take a notebook, put that, and it'll be easier for you, easier for them also.
Yeah.
And then you get that time, turn around time faster. The same day they can come back to you. If they're listening to the whole thing and then after that they're trying to decide what's important, by the time they come back to you, it could be a few days, Whereas this one, same day you can get back if you give them in the morning, right? They're zooming in pub. And then you don't have to hire them like full time, right? I'm hiring you for a day or for 5 hours, right?
In fact, per episode only I'm doing it.
Per episode,
not even episode, per clip lah. Just
per
pay them
clip,
per clip that they do.
But I mean, it's an idea. Depends whether you want to take it.
No. In fact, it's something that I am going to do.
Okay, good.
Going to do because I think one is to get my feet wet on the flow first, right? See, there's enough content and all that. There's enough people. Okay, so this seems to work. Like I said before, so there's different audiences, kan? One is the audience who's going to just sit there and listen to anyway, right? But I think you're right. The majority will be audiences who want to see. Well, you want to hear 5 minutes.
Correct.
That might lead to the 1 hour. But you need to start with
I
the.
highly doubt it. The full one, and the Facebook, their count of view is deceiving. That's total BS. I think.
The reach and all that nonsense.
Not only that. Even when I watch some of your videos, I just see it's like few hundred people have watched them and all. On LinkedIn, 15 seconds of watching it that they consider it one view, how bloody pathetic is that?
Correct.
That really annoys me because you don't know. I would like to know whether how many people reach the 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute mark. Because if all your 20 video, if you hit, by the time you hit 50, right, and you watch not a single one, somebody watch for 30 minutes, you say, not worth my time.
What's good is actually YouTube because the YouTube statistics actually breaks it down by what's the average time people are spending to watch. Okay, not more than that, but at least it gives you an indication of, right?
That's good,
so at least it gives more.
The LinkedIn one is crap, and 15 seconds, for me, it's frustrating because then I cannot tell a potential sponsor, like yesterday, I saw my email, somebody messaged, hey, I want to promote my company's cloud solution. can you come up with some solutions? And we also interested in your week in tech. So they saw it, and so I'm wondering how to charge for that. And then if I give them the metric, I said 1,000 people watch it, but then I have to disqualify. I have to qualify and say that LinkedIn 15 seconds. I won't pay 550 ringgit or so lah. But if they're so desperate, they want to. But I want to be transparent, right? Never want to take money from someone by glossing over things. So hey, this is a great show and all.
Yeah.
Got to earn your living in an honest and
way
manner.
True.
That goes to your grave. You know it. I got a loud conscience, so unfortunately I cannot do things the same way.
Hey, but anyway, thanks a lot for coming on. It's really cool. So
let's do a sound check first, if you want. So.
No, it's okay.
Oh yes,
cool. No, it's okay. So
so maybe already started.
I
didn't know.
I'll put it all in.
Okay, never mind. Just make sure.
Just a bit closer, lah.
Yeah. No, fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Okay. So I think I know you from The Edge lah. That was it when I was still in Accenture before. Many years ago.
Well, I left The Edge. I went from working at The Edge to living on The Edge, right? I tell people, right? as a contentpreneur, yeah. You're living on The Edge.
But it's something we were talking about. We're having a presence, having a name. I think you have that, lah, right? So Karamjit, everybody kind of
it has happened like that.
In the space of tech and journalism, especially around tech, people know you, lah, right?
Yeah, correct.
But for me, it's like and I know you as much as that too.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So the purpose is really to. So what's behind Karamjit, lah, right?
So I've never been comfortable with that because a journalist's job is to be behind the scenes. I always believe, right? So the only exception I make is when I'm moderating events, and that's fine. When you need someone to get the conversation going, so that you're still part of the flow. And nobody's asking me questions, right? Then it's comfortable. And the occasion where people ask me to speak, and I reluctantly do lah. Then because if I want to speak, I say I'm going to say what I believe, and you may not like it. So if they agree with that, then I will.
But I think that's where the strength is, right? That people like watching you because you're just straight, right?
Yeah, it's important to be lah. I think it's important to be straight because there's too many people who maybe they're not fudge it deliberately, but they're scared to tell the truth or I will offend somebody. And I don't. I think if I believe it's the truth, I don't mind offending people. I don't mind saying something that I think even if you're offended
because
to
you
be,
see, I
believe it to be true.
I think it's the intent, right? Because the intent of you saying it is not to offend.
Yeah, I got no agenda. No, I got agenda. No, my agenda is Malaysia, right?
Right.
Malaysia. I want the country to be achieve its potential, to be great.
Yeah.
For the simple reason is once we are great, right? You got so many, the economic benefits will filter down to everybody, right? So it's important.
Yeah. So if we go back a little bit in your career, lah, right? As far back as you want.
Okay.
Right? Where did Mr Karamjit start, lah? Where what happened? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I was tempted to go to English. I better not. I just want to discover it from you, lah.
No. I wanted to study, and like when I was on this other show yesterday, I wanted to study mass communication, but I wanted to actually go into hotel management because after Form 5,
where are you from?
Penang. I was born in Ipoh, but my dad's last posting in the army was in Penang.
I see. Okay,
so from Standard 1, then halfway through Standard 1 was from Penang all the way.
Right. So you grew up in Penang?
Grew up in Penang, yeah. Childhood memories are still got Ipoh childhood memories and mostly Penang, of course.
Okay.
And then I wanted to do hotel management because after Form 5, I worked in Rasa Sayang Hotel as a banquet staff part-time.
Okay.
And it was nice lah. And then because then the manager say, hey, your English is good. And you grow up, nobody say, hey, your English is good, your English lousy, right? Say your English is good and you can talk to the guests all. So I said, okay, like then he was saying that you should consider this, career later on. So maybe he put that in me. But I also enjoyed talking to the tourists lah. And then, but then my dad, being a Sikh, and because my dad grew up with the late lawyer Karpal, and they actually for many years lived in the same house.
Oh wow!
So those days, because my just a bit segue, because my dad and his brother, small family, only two of them, siblings, and his dad and his mom, and they had a double-story terrace house. And then I always call him Uncle Kapal. He's a family, 7 siblings, and his mom and dad, so 9.
Okay.
And those days in the early 40s, late 1930s, everybody doesn't have much lah, right? And my grandfather told Karpal's dad was like they were like brothers, Praji, come and live with us, and they lived in the same house.
Oh wow!
For like many years.
Okay.
And that's why they grew up
so
like brothers. Yeah, no. Because so that was our parents' time growing up. So then, of course, you move on, you go your own way. And,
right.
But when we were growing up, we never met except at family functions a bit lah.
But your dad was still in the army. Wasn't in the army then?
He retired all the way to the army. So
Okay.
it was, so but I never hung out with Gobind and all, because then Gobind and the family, all, their kids went to Sri E9. Those were from Penang, it's a international school, and of course we went to national school, right? So you didn't mix in the same circles.
Okay.
And not so much economic, but friend circle.
Yeah.
And
So you were saying that because so your dad being from the army and all that, and you wanted to go into hospitality.
I said, but he said, no, but because he knew, he and Karpa were like brothers. So when I wanted to say, I told him I want to do hotel management. He said, you do hotel management, you can go up to middle level. After all the senior position they give to the Chinese only, you cannot move up. I said, okay lah. But if you want to read law, I got money. Hotel management, no money. I said, I didn't understand the economics of that lah. One got money, the other no money.
Yeah.
So in the end, I decided to do mass comm, and I decided to do broadcasting, because I before leaving there was talk of Astro coming up. But Astro was delayed many times, and they finally launched in 1994. They were supposed to launch in 94, the year I graduated. I came back in 93.
Okay.
But
where were you?
I went to Minnesota.
Okay.
It's just a state university.
Right.
Did broadcasting.
Okay.
And when I came back, Astro was delayed by another year. So Astro, you can check back, actually launched in 94, but it's supposed to launch in 93. But in the meantime, what do I do, right? So I joined Straight Times.
Okay.
Because Straight Times was the same group that TV3 is under. So I said I can do broadcasting, right? From print, go to broadcasting. So I became I was a copy editor. So copy editor, for those who don't know, is the ones, they check the journalist article to make sure that there are no spelling mistakes and the article makes sense, and to query the journalist. So they're the layer before the article comes out.
Right.
And then I did that for 2 years. Then I joined The Edge. For a year into The Edge, then they asked me to have a short stint of writing. And then they said
this was late 90s?
No, 90. I was in the Straight Times from 93 to 95. So in July 95, I joined The Edge. And then a year later, they said all the copy editors, you should have an experience of writing, so you know what it's like. So I did my 2 month stint, and then my copy editor boss said, you're causing less trouble as a writer, so just go there.
What were you doing for the 2 months?
I was everything, maybe property, doing lifestyle, but not business journalism, not the business side, property and lifestyle.
Okay.
And then from there, then I stayed on as a journalist.
Right. Then when did you suddenly start moving towards the technology?
Tech, I think in 1999, I liked the telco space, because I thought telecommunication was with 3G already there, it's going to be a game changer. And they were talking about, there was a term they used where the two come together. Now, convergence was a big term in 98, 99. And with convergence, then technology would meet telecommunication, and I found that interesting. Then my editor also knew. So in January 2000, because the technology journalist at The Edge left to launch a startup, and that journalist was Ku Su Chuang.
I see.
So he left and joined the startup, and then my editor Hoketat said, "Hey, Karam, you take over technology lah."
And you wanted to anyway, so you...
No, and I said, I don't know anything about technology. And then he had a copy of Business, not Business 2.0. Yeah, there was a magazine back then called Business 2.0. He had the cover. He showed me the cover, which is called Convergence. And he said, no, you like telco, but telco and IT coming together. So you're the new tech journalist. No choice. Your boss said do it.
Yeah.
So I did it. And then 6 months later, he asked me to be the editor. And then I've been doing technology since year 2000.
Okay. So when you moved from, you wanted to do hospitality and then went into journalism, was an easy switch, or at the end of the day there was no much choice?
Totally easy, no big deal, because you wanted to do, but I never got to study hotel management, right? So there was no loss there.
Yeah.
And then broadcasting in university was interesting. You're on the campus radio station, and then they would call me the K-man, but on the weekend, because they give the rookie fellows who are doing broadcasting, the weekend is the prime slot. So you sometimes get a weekend slot. I was playing heavy metal music. It was fun AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith. And then I would call myself K-Man, because my Canadian friend couldn't pronounce Karamjit, mangled it. So he would call me K-Man. But on the weekend, when they get drunk, I became the Caveman. So I said, okay, Caveman, whatever it is. So that was my experience doing radio. And then TV, you're working, doing various aspects. But then came back, like I said, became a print, and then became a journalist. And
so you moved to KL when you came back?
I have to, because only Penang you could join the Star, but I got a job with News Straight Times. So
News Straight Times.
Yeah, came to here and then started living. But I don't call myself a KLite or Selangorite. Penangite or Ipoite. Can you say Ipoh Mali?
So when you were at The Edge, how was that experience? That was what, 10 years?
No. Edge launched in 94. I joined them 1 year after they launched.
Right.
So I'm one of the
Right
few
from the
people.
start,
I think I have 4 copies of The Edge. Or the first copy is called Preview,
Wow.
and then copy 1, 2, 3. So anybody wants to buy my copy of The Edge starts at 10,000 euro. Okay, I give you 4.
Framed out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not, I haven't framed yet lah. Actually, I
But
hope I
it's
still
gotta
have
be
them
mint
lah.
condition,
They're
right?
somewhere in the house somewhere lah.
Hey, that's
Maybe
the
not
valuable,
mint,
man.
maybe yellowish, but hey, I got the first 4 copies. Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah. So
So this is
that
my
was-
sales pitch lah. 10,000 euro.
We'll do the bidding after this program. lah. So that was around 95. Did you say?
Yeah, I joined The
95,
Edge in 95 July.
Right. So when
July
you
3rd even I somehow I still
so when
remember
you
the date.
started
Yeah.
when you started covering, so you started from telco.
Yeah,
right?
no.
That's where the
Telco
technology-
is my interest. I was a
Yeah.
copy editor. Then when they made me a journalist, I was with the property section. Then I was with the lifestyle section, which is personal,
Okay.
called options lah. But that time it was called something else.
But at the back of that, you were always interested to see what's going on in
Yeah,
telco.
your own personal reading lah. Right? It didn't
mm.
come out in your writing, but then in January somehow they said be the
Yeah.
the tech writer.
So do you remember at that point what was the big hot stuff in technology? Way
Just
back then?
convergence lah, about how telcos were expected to be the dominant players because
Huh.
they had the relationship with millions of customers, right?
Yeah.
And technology coming in with data, and at that time SMS lah the big thing, no data yet. And you thought, wow, this were, and with 3G lah data, so that
Right.
they were going to be the winners. And in New Zealand back then, there was a telco that had become even a supplier of power also, because telco is in a way so utility, power also utility.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to someone saying this is going to be the future, man. Telcos are going to own portions of banks, are going to own portions
Right.
of power
So
companies.
they were the
Exciting.
movers lah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And at that point, SMSs were big.
Yeah, huge.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, okay. Did you see so how was your observation in terms of the shift between, hang on a minute, telco had the power, suddenly it was, they slipped, right? Not so much they slipped, but suddenly things went to the apps that was running on their backbone.
But
and
that
not
was
them themselves,
gradually
right?
lah. No, but you see, when you say suddenly, did you see? This is the amazing thing. You cover entrepreneurs, and the ones who become entrepreneurs are those. If you ask them why did you do this, they'll say I see or I saw, and of course you kind of physically, but in their mind's eye, they were able to see that in the future, I think this is going to be a hot thing. And I don't know how you come to that ability. So, and that gives you the bravery, the courage to go out and be an entrepreneur, to try to capture that opportunity that you see. Because what you're seeing is not going to happen today.
Yeah.
Today, everybody can see.
Yeah.
This is tomorrow, day after tomorrow. And that is an amazing ingredient that no book you can read can help you find that formula.
Yeah.
Although I'm watching a bit of the documentary, The Secret, on Netflix now. Just watch for 10 minutes. I say I must watch in 10 minute chunks and absorb. You read the book, then there's too much stuff there. So
I
I'm
haven't
watching
seen this. Is it The
It's
Secret?
on Netflix, yeah. So
What is entrepreneurship?
yeah, no, it's called The Secret, and they said that the secret of becoming successful in life is there already, and they talk about what the secret is.
Oh, I see.
So you're harnessing
You're
in a way
supposed to,
the power of the cosmic universe, your subconscious. But it's heavy stuff, so that's you got to watch in short clips and try to absorb.
Yeah.
But
But
I didn't see, to answer your question, I didn't see any of these trends is going to be big. The only one trend I saw was VoIP. Because I remember I interviewed Wei Chuan Beng. He was a VoIP player
Right.
then, and I told my colleague at my tech team, hey, I think this is going to be big lah. And I remember telling him we can make money, from this. And to me, the motivation to make money is not the right reason to want to be an entrepreneur. Although. Day before yesterday, I had coffee with someone and he said that you only be an entrepreneur if you want to make a difference in society or you want to make money, which I disagree with. But that's a lever it works for some people, not for me. But back to this one, I told my colleague, hey, we can make money if we do this VoIP thing,
Yeah.
That was the only time that I kind of correctly predicted that company, that something could be big and you could, there's a big commercial opportunity. But knowing there's an opportunity and then having the guts, the backbone, right, or the lunacy to
go
take
do it.
advantage are
Yeah.
two different things. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why they say, and that's why I think ideas have got no value. Everyone say, I want to protect my idea. I don't want to go for networking because I don't want people my idea.
Yeah.
No, you got to execute, and executing is a shit
That's
job,
the- that's the
Yeah,
risk,
it's hell of
right?
a
Yeah,
difficult.
Yeah.
So that's why be free, share your idea, people, because somebody may give you another element to add to the idea.
Yeah.
If you keep it to yourself, you're only relying on your own geniosity, to make the idea flesh it out even more.
And there is also this principle of your ideas is secret, right?
Yeah.
And so sacred. But to be honest,
Yeah,
right?
of course
Okay,
not.
everybody can have
Totally
the
wrong.
idea.
Yeah.
But it's a question of who can execute it, right? And I think I was reading somewhere that a lot of the times it's actually timing and luck, right? So the same idea.
Yeah,
today,
it's luck, timing, but no, I don't believe in luck. I think I think luck is where opportunity and hard work. No, it's not opportunity. It's where hard work and preparation meets opportunity, then that becomes hard
Lucky
work.
lah.
Yeah.
And then it becomes luck.
Because if that opportunity may come, but if you're not ready to seize it, what for, right? So you must set the foundation first to take advantage of the opportunity. Then you can say luck.
Yeah.
Because people won't come to you and offer you things if you're not in a space where they don't know you have an interest, right? So nobody comes to me with a hot tip about this latest cookingware or whatever. They come to me with technology stories, and sometimes they tell me things that I don't know also, because you're already known, right? And then they know you're interested, then they share, and then you build on that. So luck is, don't rely on luck. Luck is only when you have put in the hard work, right, and ready to seize that door.
Looking back, you can say it was luck lah, but actually there was a lot of elements.
To put you for me, so far, there's no luck in anything they have done. There's no luck really, and this is actually one of the sayings in the early days. The Edge used to have a small strap at the bottom with all these sayings. In this one saying, I remember, till now I remembered it. It was actually a door opening and like light shining through, and then they say, luck is when preparation and hard work meet opportunity.
So let's go back to the Edge then.
Okay,
so you were there,
Yeah.
right? So many years have gone by. You
Man, many years, almost 17 years. So in my 12th year, I suddenly said, hey, shoot, man, it's 12 years already, And the thing is, time passed so fast. And for me, lucky, it was not work. So if you are one of the few who are blessed that what you do is not work, but you just love doing it, right?
Yeah.
And it's very few people have that. And it comes to you. Nobody train you to how to love what you do, right? I was just blessed that I really enjoyed what I did, and I never watched the time. So if you're in your workplace, you're a time clock watcher, whether you people know it or not, you are subconsciously timing how long you're going to be at work, then you cannot be an entrepreneur, because the first thing you do as an entrepreneur, you got to throw out the damn clock, man, right? Whether it's a Saturday or Sunday or Friday, you're working throughout, right? You're always on.
Or you're
always on.
Or in the wrong job lah.
Totally, yeah. Many people are maybe in the wrong job, but you may not have the skill set to do something else. Especially in the Indian community, so many fellas trained to be lawyers because the parents want them to be lawyers, and then they don't want to be lawyers, where you're just stuck there, do that, build that as your career, and be resentful, or maybe not resentful, but what if, right?
Yeah.
And then I know one good friend who joined me as a journalist in this training thing. He read law, went to UK, parents sent him, came back, then he said, no, I gave my parents what they wanted, now I do what I want to do. But at the beginning of his career, can you imagine the hurt of the parents? You hoping your child becomes a lawyer? No, mom, dad, you wanted me to be a lawyer. This is my law degree. Keep it. Now I want to do what I want to do. But 3 years of your life, in a way, is wasted. And that is painful, man.
Yeah.
Although, painful.
I mean, positively, you would think, I'm sure there's a lot of things that you've learned, right? You picked up the life skills to
maybe this person maybe hardly applied it. Like Nades then became a lawyer only later on, because he's very strong in his social cause, community cause, very strong with him. He wanted law as a weapon. So he later learned it to strengthen his ability to be the great journalist he is. But you can do that. But I'm talking about when you're at the beginning of your career, parents ask you to do this or that.
You do it for that, right?
Yeah. And I know two people who studied medicine. One person after 2 years in Ireland told the parents, I this is not for me, and ended up in marketing. And then I told the mother, I want to nominate you as mother of the decade, because you didn't kill your daughter. 2 years in Ireland, what, 150,000 a year, koya, man.
Yeah.
Marketing manager. Nothing wrong with being marketing, but at least credit to the girl. And after 2 years, she finally had the courage to tell them, stop. I don't want to go through the 5 years.
But do you think this has changed? Do you think parents now
in Asia? No, yes, it has now, but because before that, parents maybe control 80% of your career choices. I think. I'm just throwing out a number. I didn't do any research in this, just from my experience in the Indian community.
Right.
And I think now maybe it's down to 50% or 40%, which is great, but still a certain level, you're still dictated. Yeah. So like this recent case, right? She's now the girl is now in her late 20s, but she did medicine because the parents wanted to, and this is a millennial, right? Her age puts us a millennial.
Yeah. Maybe the millennial with their kids will be very different.
Yeah, absolutely, totally.
So then they will realize, hey, you know what? I would have loved the freedom.
Correct.
So
but to put your point, I think there's still quite a lot where parents, even with me as a parent, I'm trying to sway both my sons, right? Hey, make sure no matter, you can do anything you want, but make sure you have a technical coding foundation. You can code, R, Python, right? SQL. If not SQL means at least then, C++. Do some coding skills, must.
Right.
then that's your
That's the foundation, you think,
foundation. Yeah. I think actually the foundation for anything is analytics. If you ask me the crux of this, right? If anybody wants to say, Karam, in your years as a tech journalist, what should I have my child study? Say, have them study whatever they're interested in, because if they're passionate about something, they'll put in the extra effort. Because going to university or college is not easy, right? It's years of studying and hitting the books and doing homework.
Yeah.
And then you do that, but let them make sure they do a minor in analytics, because analytics is the foundation now for everything. Because you imagine, even in your team, like, let's say you go into Etika now, you look at 100 people, volunteers come, we want to get some people to join our team. 100 volunteers come and you talk to them, and out of that, maybe 10 of them or 6 of them have done something on a side beyond what they've done to do analytics maybe. Definitely your entire team will say, boss, let's talk to them. They immediately make the next filter. What?
Yeah. Yeah,
I guarantee it's going to be there, because analytics is going to become so easy, and companies will realize, hey, I need to understand what my data is telling me. They'll pick people who've got analytics, and you don't need someone done with a major, it's with a minor also enough. And you're enough that you're familiar with this. You can know what to do. You know what is modeling. I know what is modeling. Not go to secretrecipe.com and let's check out the fall or catwalk or whatever.
Yeah.
So bottom line is, I think analytics is important. You don't have to do a degree, maybe you don't want to do a 2-year program as a minor, but at least take enough courses, right, that you've got
at
15,
enough awareness
20,
and understanding of it, right?
So you're not afraid of it. You understand the terms and all, and you can apply yourself later, because then you'll see the value of it.
That's
But
true.
I would, if my kids now, they're still young, but they decide to do something like, be a yoga practitioner or Bharatanatyam dancer. Oh no, they got no talent for that. Okay, lucky. But anything, I'll insist they do a minor, at least 1 year in analytics to
But
give them.
maybe-
Then as a parent, I sleep easy at night knowing I've done my job for them. Because I tell them, sometimes I make them do things, or I say, this why? I say, look, I don't want to be your friend, okay? I'm your parent for a reason. And I think with my life experience, this is important to me. So you're damn well going to do it while you're still, no armpit under your no hair under your armpit, and you're relying on us, right? You're going to do that. I have put my foot down to do that. Then I want to sleep easy at night knowing that I've done my job. I think so.
Then they
so
do
this is
that.
not parenting advice, but me knowing what I've
Individual.
seen, right? I think that's super important.
So that's why it's still the 60% controlled by you, and then 40% do what
But
you
this is not, no, they do, but they're still doing their main one. I'm just doing the
okay
minor,
lah.
give me. So it's like maybe 20%, like you do your 80%, but give me this so that I sleep easy at night. And then maybe one day you tell me, Papa, that foundation was important. Because in university, then I did broadcasting. I did a minor in business administration for 1 year. And that when I came back, that's how I was interested to join Business Times. This training program was by Business Times, not New Straight Times proper.
I see.
So in a way, it's my minor that then got me into that career in in print journalism.
Okay. So 12, 15 years in the age. then
17 years, 3 months short of.
Yeah.
So the thing is, at my 12th year, I said, wow, that's so long. Then when I started doing my appraisals with Ketat, I would say that I tell myself, this is my last year at the age. He said, what are you talking about? Where are you going? I say, no, because you've been there for so long. And I think if you're honest with yourself, when you're in a place for that long, you become comfortable in the job, and you know the job so well that you can put in 70-80% effort, because you know the job like the back of your hand. And you can put in 80% effort, and I think you can, at your appraisal, you can still score in the 90 percentile already. And then,
But you didn't feel like you were growing lah.
No, not even growing. But I knew. So when I finally put in the resignation letter, my editor then was not Ketat or somebody else. She said, Karam, why are you leaving us? I said that if I don't do this now, I know that on my deathbed, when I look in the mirror, the person looking back at me is going to say, Karam, you coward. Can you imagine? You coward. You didn't go out and try something different. And because I guess I was also confident enough that if I failed at whatever else I did, it doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. Maybe join Maybank or join Etika doing something else. If I suck at that, I know I was good enough that I could come back as a journalist.
Right. There was always the safety net life.
Yeah.
So what did you do? So around 12 years? Then you
No,
said,
then the last, I told Keita even my last year. And then in 2011, Dash organized Silicon Valley comes to Malaysia.
Okay.
And during that 2-day networking, so some reason people kept up coming to me and say, Karam, you should do your own TechCrunch. You launch your own TechCrunch.
Right.
And that kind of went, interesting. And then because I was thinking of what I wanted to do, then I said, I didn't think of going on being an entrepreneur. I thought who I wanted to join.
So back to that. So when you tendered, Did you have a
Oh
plan
yeah, of
already?
course, yeah. No, look.
So this was like before like that.
Yeah, before where
you
in
look at your
2011, then
options.
people say, hey, why don't you, you do your own TechCrunch or what? Then I met with another journalist who was my co-founder, and he was good in enterprise technology. I mean, he loves writing about the IBM's, Oracles,
Right.
your Cisco, big board there of the world.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in covering those companies so much because they're already world brands. I want to bring local stories, Malaysian stories to my audience.
Yeah.
Not about what's LinkedIn's doing and Oracle, Yahoo, Cisco, blah blah blah. So, but Edwin focused on that. So I think the rationale was because I love to do
Was he
certain
there in
segments.
there also?
No,
Or
he was my contributor only.
I see. Okay.
But when you want to do something there, when you look for co-founders, right, you want somebody whose strengths complement your weaknesses.
Yeah.
That's super critical. Cannot be two of y'all are strong in the same thing, right? You want to have come in like that, then this is stronger to break apart than this, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted that, and then then I told him about the idea. He said, "Karam, I think it can work, lah." So Edwin was the key person to give me the confidence that was the germ of idea. Then,
Right.
Then spoke to another guy who would ex-journalist, but he's a bit more commercial minded, so the business guy. Then we would brainstorm on the weekends, on Saturdays, go to the Edwin at the office in SS2. So spend about an hour and 90 minutes there, to, bouncing off ideas, blah blah blah. And then in December of that year. So every weekend we would go, and just bounce off ideas. And
Were
the
you
three
married
of us.
then with kids?
Yeah, married,
you
2
already-
kids. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So it was
I
quite
left
brave.
no, it was not brave. It was insanity. So I'm not brave because I left because they're always you can always give your excuses why you don't want to go out yet. I'll wait, right?
Yeah.
And the excuses will never end. So I was thinking of leaving many times, but I said I'm not ready. Or no, wait, I got to handle this or that big payment coming. Then this was the worst possible time for me because we had just bought a house in 2010. Your mortgage start,
Oh,
so a
man,
big chunk
yeah.
of and my age salary was good. In 2010, I was telling myself, wow, I look at my paycheck and I say, man, I'm already making enough for my needs, So I'm a simple person, right? In 2010, I was already making enough for my needs. I say, wow. So whatever I was earning.
So why would you put all that at risk, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. So and then you got mortgage also coming, and then but I still went out and did this because like I said, the fear of my shadow looking back, or not my reflection in the mirror, calling me a coward. Then you go to your maker or whatever with this doubt, your unfinished business, and I didn't want that.
Right.
So
So then you made the leap.
Yeah,
So the
in-
weekends you like.
yeah,
you form this
we
thing
go,
with these guys,
but
right?
maybe only on Saturday, not Sunday. So just once a week, right? We did kick things around, and then over your nasi lemak packet, in the afternoon, or your goreng pisang, and then in the December, then Aswan came in. Aswan left Microsoft in October. And then Edwin brought him in to discuss with me. Oh, then he said, then with Aswan there, it became very strong. The content team was very strong. And then I remember during one discussion, Aswan asked me, Karam, aren't you afraid of because you're in a comfortable position and you're taking a big risk? And the question caught me by surprise. I was at the board, writing out something, we're discussing things. And I said, actually, I'm not afraid of failing. But once we go out and do this, I'm not afraid of failing. But the only thing I'm afraid of is that if I go and do this and I don't give it my best effort, and if we fail means I want people to drive by the road and see one long 6'2", flat thing on the road there. What is that? Oh, that's Karam lah, roadkill. Because I put
he tried
in
his
everything.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried my very best. Then you walk away with no regrets.
Yeah.
So I said that is my only fear.
Okay.
So then I said I got no fear of failure, and that's the important thing. If I guess you want to be an entrepreneur, you cannot be afraid of failing. And then
And you must expect it too, lah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So then in December, then suddenly an
What
angel
year was that?
investor came. 2011.
Okay.
So in December 2011, an angel investor came because he heard about me doing it with somebody very close, and then he said, "I will invest in y'all." Then I said, "Oh wow, okay." Because first of all, no matter what, we would not have left if we didn't get some money in first, But these early days where you could expect someone on the back of an idea and the team you have, right, to give you
invest.
money, lah.
Yeah.
Now super duper is difficult, lah.
Yeah.
So then the person, that changed the game. So then, but I waited till February because February you get your bonus is in, right? So
Yeah,
what?
you gotta be practical, right?
Yeah, I have to be practical. Say, come on, I got a mortgage, right? And then
Yeah.
I'm walking away from a 5-figure
Yeah.
salary job.
Yeah.
So then I submitted my letter, lah.
Okay. So there was it.
That was it. And
So
then
how
we
many of you set up DNA at that point?
had me, Edwin, Asohan, 3 of us. Then the other person, the business person, decided not to come.
Okay.
Because then his wife persuaded him to buy another house or car. I said, I got extra payments. So you understand,
Fair
right?
enough, yeah. Okay.
And then so the 3 of us launched it, and then we had this little bit of money from the angel investor.
Yeah.
And then I didn't take salary for the first 2 years,
Wow.
and you have to experience it, because it feels like you are it feels like when you're breathing, you're only breathing with like 80% or 70% of your air, It's like that, and but because you're so committed, right, you want to make it work. And I couldn't even take half of my previous salary, because then your cash flow you go out very fast. So Edwin took very little, Asan also took very little. And then we just went on. And then when we launched, we had 4 anchor sponsors that came in, just on the back of, it's you, Edwin, Aswan. Yeah, I'll bet on you.
Right.
So wonderful.
What was the initial plan for DNA?
So to become a paid service, we said we offer for free for 6 months, get people hooked, right, and become a paid service.
Okay.
But I never had the guts. So the team was telling me at some point, Karam, go paid. I said, look, we're already earning revenue this way. And our readership was never high because it's a niche portal. And we don't do the sexy other product things, right? We don't do your 5 things. Maybank didn't do. Hey, I want to read about it, and then nothing there. Because we are serious journalists, right? But the idea was to go paid, but I was afraid to go paid because I said we won't have enough people paying us, and you die faster. And then the people who like to come in and support you, you say, Karam, you move from 100,000 articles read a month to 25,000, bro. I cannot support you, I'll lose my job, right? I assumed they would have said that, and I said, no, guys, let's just keep going this way, So that's why we remained free. And then, but Edwin left because he's always going to do something else. But he gave DNA 2 years of his time full time.
Okay.
Then Aswan left in 2017 because we couldn't pay ourselves what we wanted to be paid. Here we are in 2020. I'm earning what I was making in 2010. I was looking at it, I said, oh my God, I'm earning what I was earning 10 years ago, which is bloody frightening. Okay, and of course you strip down yourself to to just doing enough. But it's kind of scary. But somehow you're still able to make it work. I say, how come you're still able to survive? There's a part of me sometimes that says, no, just go out and earn your market due, right? And you've already done your best, no regrets or whatever. But somehow there's still enough people who find value in DNA that you just keep going. And the other day, this guy who I met, who said he wanted to do a business for money, asked me, Karam, how things today? How you doing? And he asked me that, and at the back of my mind, because that's your most honest when somebody asks you something and an answer comes to you, and before you filter, this comes out, this is filtered already. And I said, actually, when you said that, what comes out from the back of my mind, my subconscious is that it's still fun and exciting. And I said, damn, I wish it wasn't saying that. It's saying, chukop Nobody is saying, Karam, 8 years already, you've done your best. Thanks. Sorry, we couldn't support you enough, right, to grow your team or whatever.
Yeah. So that's 8-9 years in fact.
No,
right?
This May was 8 years. 8 years already.
Wow. So looking back, it sounds like the answer is still, you're still passionate about it.
Totally, I know. When you talk to me, right, and then I feel my role is to serve the ecosystem. And like I said, you don't serve the ecosystem by writing about Oracle, Microsoft, all that. I know. I want to write about the Malaysian entrepreneur stories, your Store Hub, your Kylie, your guys before they became big, right? Your faves when they were small, and a lot of other small companies we talk about. So if it's a small company, I want to talk to them because I will give them visibility. And even now for media, some of them they want to charge you money to even interview you, which totally sucks.
Wow.
Yeah, because
I guess they see themselves as the platform to
they're helping you, But media's role is to educate and enlighten the readership, right? Not to charge you. Like if you come to me, hey, Karam, we got a great innovation story. Can bro, but can you connect me to your marketing person? I want to sell them something, Then you make it feel like there's a string attached, and that's wrong. The role of media shouldn't be like that. But it's becoming like that because they are all desperately. They're like, if you're not taking salary is like breathing with only 80%. Maybe now being a content player in the world where all the money almost goes to Facebook and YouTube and Google, which is /Google. Feels like you're only breathing with 40% of your lung capacity. So they're desperate, they're doing things like that, but it's wrong the way some media is going. You cannot charge people for that to run the press release. I'll do it for free. If I think it's important, I want to share this with my readers. No doubt, if I say no, this press release is weak, it's not a DNA story, and then say, Karam, we'll pay you to read, then I don't mind. But I disclose there, so this is sponsored or brought to you by. So every time there's a thing, we disclose that there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we won't just pretend it's a pay. Sometimes people walk away. No, we don't need to disclose. I say sorry. I won't betray my readers because they've given me the privilege of their time to read DNA stories, right? And our time is our single most precious asset. Whether you're the CEO of Etika or you're the tea lady, all of them will say that their time is the most precious asset, right? So I respect
So
the
you
time
respect
people have
that.
given DNA, and I want to make sure that I live up to the trust that people have in DNA, because people trust DNA,
Yeah.
and that's a responsibility, and I have a responsibility to the ecosystem to cover the stories on the ecosystem.
And not paid by some sponsor at the
Yeah,
back there
yeah,
for a
exactly,
story.
yeah.
But how do you see the evolution of the channel itself? So even the edge now is like,
Okay.
no more print, is all digital.
No,
right?
the
So-
print is there. No,
Ah.
that's why I do my Gujarati 50 once every 2 years. There's still
Right.
value in print. Every market will still have one print product because people still want print. But like in Newsnet Times, it's just a shell. And I picked up the Sun yesterday, the print version. In the whole, it used to be 48 pages, 36 pages. Now it's 24 pages and only 2 ads. So because the ability for marketers to reach their market, they believe is almost all gone digital.
Yeah.
So print fillers will suffer, but there will always be a premium print product in the market. So for daily is the star, although they're struggling, but they slimmed down to maybe like 60 pages, but there are people still want to read in the physical paper, especially if you're above 50 years old, and they're still a wealthy demographic.
Yeah.
And the print, they're doing a lot of things with print. The Edge still has their print version, but they're still doing very well with print. So every market, my point is, will still have a print winner or incumbent who becomes a winner. Yeah.
Because actually, if you believe the death knell, I don't know, 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Print is dead. Right? There's not going to be
that
any...
time they said print is going to die lah. So it
Yeah.
is dying, but you're struggling
but
to
it's,
survive.
but it's still around still.
It's still around, yeah, because
yeah.
clearly the market sees value, right? The consumer sees value. If they didn't, means it would have died. So the market decides, and clearly readers out there have shown that they got no loyalty to the product, which means that if somebody copy and paste, sometimes people will steal DNA stories, lock stock, and you read them somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And once or twice readers have told me, Karam, this is your story. They copied,
copy-paste lah,
yeah. And I very rarely will send them a note saying cease and desist and take 4 paragraphs to copy and say go back to DNA for a good story. There's no respect out there for content lah.
Yeah.
No, so people can easily copy, but readers don't care. And
so that's the point, right?
And you can read the whole article maybe on Facebook, right? Or you read the first 5 paragraphs, enough. Okay, I know what it's about. And you just copy and paste. So that is the thing, that theft of content is what kills the media, because you still need feet on the ground to go and do interviews and to get the content. The content doesn't magically appear, don't tell, say, some AI, Etika is doing interesting thing, but they've now got an innovation solution department. Give me a 700-word story in Etika. Then the AI go and helter skelter go and look for things, listen to your few scripts, what you say, and create an article. No, it's not yet lah. That's too hard and not monetizable yet. Only in bulk. So, but that's the thing, right? So you still need the people. My point is to go out and do the stories, to talk to them.
So
Okay.
a few months ago, Star started charging, right? So
Yeah.
the thing. So what do you think
Gently.
about-
No,
what
it's
about
good. They have to go that way because their revenues have shrunk dramatically, right? Dramatically, and they're down to like maybe 40% of their headcount, and they're doing another round of cuts by Q4, another round.
Okay.
Yeah, so it tells you the reality, right? So media has to survive on a slimmer cost-based operating platform. You have to.
Has DNA itself, have you guys evolved over the last
No, we haven't. So we're still old school lah. The fact that we're digital, right? So evolve is we've got print lah. We've evolved into print lah, right? Once every 2 years,
right.
and that is our most successful commercial product. Maybe because I do every 2 years, right? They say, Karam asking for ad lah. Okay lah. Once every 2 years, give him 1 page lah, right? And then 20 people give you that 1 page. It's already a few 100,000. Okay lah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny.
But do you how do you see it moving forward?
Moving forward is still content. So when I launch, one of the pearlers who wanted to invest me said, Karam, it's a good idea. Everything's going digital and video is the way to go. But it's not. Video, no, look for content players. And he said he visited New York Times, and one of the C-level in New York Times told him they're going all in into video. But if you go to NewYorkTimes.com now, the vast majority of the articles are still print, not video. Because to do a story in video takes so much time. Who's got the time to do that? And some of the stories they do on video are fantastic. They take, now with drones helps you collect the news, right? But you're collecting reels of video, you got to edit it, and then somebody does a voiceover. Broadcast is when you're doing broadcast in a sense of a story, not somebody come to the studio and talk to you and that's done. Super difficult. Imagine the time involved. Right, they did a great story on global climate change, and they had to go. I'm sure they hired a freelancer in Alaska to fly a drone over, take some video clips and somewhere else. Imagine the time it takes to do that.
But you also get a lot of
this thing about videos over front. So the ones who made videos successful are the ones who do things like somebody come to their studio where the effort to do it is minimal, but because they've got a name, they can get interesting people to come and you have good conversation. That is what you're watching. It's never like Steph Rogan. Rogan?
Joe Rogan,
His is not where there's a video thing, right? The video is just him and another person talking.
Correct.
It's still a conversation. It's still content that if you transcribe, you can read that also. So video is overstated. Video means just what we are doing now. This is video. It's not producing the story in a video form where you got cut edits and all, right, of showing action. A flyover over Cyberjaya, and all.
Because if you go to like the CNN or BBC websites now, right? So they do have the snippets of the videos, right? But that's also perhaps one of their key channels is TV,
they grew up like that. They grew up as a CNN, yes. BBC, I don't know whether, but they had dual. But if you don't have video in your DNA, it's expensive to do. So you hire a part-time crew also. Look at the model. You hire a part-time crew to go and do something. They don't charge you 2 hours. No, they charge you half day. I cannot charge you 2 hours. You say, no, like 2 hour assignment only. No, they'll charge you half day. It doesn't make sense. So all this fallacy about video being the future of content to me is bullshit. It's this simple video like this. That's all. It's not producing like a snippet where you've got various contents flowing in. Super expensive, difficult to do.
Because I wonder if... sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. No.
Because I wonder if it's misguided when they see these, the influencers and all these YouTube guys all doing content on video, right?
Yeah.
But perhaps it's a different type of content, right? Different type of audiences. Right?
Those who are shopping leaders, they'll have a product, right? They talk about it. That's very easy. You talking in one shop, there's no various clips edited in and all. It's very simple. That kind of video. In a way, yours is video. Only thing, if you want to take this to the next level, it's a blue screen. Now it's a blue curtain lah. Because he's a cheapskate. Get a blue screen. Then maybe if I'm talking, and beforehand I want to talk about Cyberjaya. Then when I'm talking Cyberjaya, there's a aerial view of Cyberjaya or MDEC. Aerial view of MDEC. Then but there's extra effort on your part. It'll be interesting to see whether you're willing to put in the effort or not. It doesn't magically appear, right? You've got to put in the effort. Whereas just calling somebody and talking like that is so much more easier.
Even to slice up into 5-minute videos also is effort, right?
Yeah, effort, much less you can do video. So totally I debunk the fact that video is the future of content. Is hard, extremely hard work, and you got to put in way effort. This video, flat video, right?
But what about if it does have its own flat video type of view?
It's simple. I know. I can. It's like this. Like just put a high definition webcam, right? And I'm talking to someone. I can do that.
But is that something that you?
No, but I won't do this one. Like I say, I do believe this long form is too long. I will do if I record somebody, and now I'm trying to speak to the CEO of a tier 1 listed company, and I told the head of comms that I want to bring video to record it, and then they get nervous. Because video, then hey, are you going to do the full episode live? Or I say, no, I'm going to take out highlights. I will never put the whole thing live, unless if you're a superstar CEO, right? Then fine.
Then people will want to.
I don't know whether people will now, because time is precious. Like on the weekend, my time just get absorbed, right? So fast. So like before coming here, suddenly I was telling my son, I got to go somewhere. Papa, you got 50 minutes. I said, what, 50 minutes to go? Then I have to do something. So there's somehow your time gets swallowed up by things.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so you got to keep your video, even if you do, have to be concise lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I believe. You don't have to agree with me. I like it more when people disagree. You learn more when somebody wants to challenge you and they have a strong opinion, right?
Because I think the thing with our audiences in Asia anyway, maybe you're right. We're all too busy trying to pay bills lah, so we don't have that time, right? But
I don't think it's Asian. It's all over the world. It's like that. Although Western audience, they're more involved in giving comments. Like if you read, but this is tier 1 audience. If you go to Wall Street Journal, if you subscribe to the New York Times, the Economist of Financial Times, their articles got comments. right? Because they have attracted the tier 1 audience, or those who are educated, who have strong opinion about things, right? Then that's interesting.
But even the trolls on YouTube also is quite fun to read.
You say, I don't read YouTube. If I see trolls, I say I don't read somebody's highly uninformed opinion.
Yeah,
They're entitled to it, but I got no time for that.
But you know,
we are already being forced to hear or listen to highly uninformed content when the so-called president of US tweets lah. That's enough for me.
Yeah, but I guess the point being that interaction is key for a lot of people, right? If you watch a YouTube video, sometimes people will just go to the comments first just to get a sense of what the video is about, right?
Maybe,
And then Joe Rogan moved over to Spotify, right? So Spotify set up the platform for him. But in Spotify there is no comments.
Oh, is it? I'm not aware.
So I wonder if something like that will reduce.
Of course,
the interest,
it reduces because he's attracted people to want to comment, right? And then when you lose that, you lose the engagement, right?
Yeah.
So there's less reason. So the engagement is important because the LinkedIn show I do with Roshan on LinkedIn, when people comment, it shows you the comments. Only you as the broadcast person can see it,
right.
And this yesterday on the show, I'm not promoting the show, so I just brought up. And Roshan said,
right.
no. And then Roshan was saying, sorry guys, I know I didn't share a lot of your comments. Right? People get upset when they put a comment, you don't bring it up. So during the show, he brought, okay, this guy said this. Even it may be the good show, great sharing. Okay, this guy said this guy said that. So when people put comment, they want to be recognized, really interesting. So then in a way it breaks the flow, but you want to engage with your audience. Hey, the guy said my name, somebody from Abu Dhabi, one guy from Saudi Arabia. I'm going to join the startup. What should I look out for? And then you bring it up, and then he asks a question, so you answer the question. So the bottom line is the engagement is important. When you don't have it, then it becomes one way, it's not two way.
Yeah. So in fact, even some of the digital platforms, right? I don't know, some of them, when they have the comment area, but it's very dead lah. There's nothing there, right?
Yeah, because the audience is not so much engaged now that it doesn't make it strong enough for them. So even on DNA on our website, we've got comments, but because the news is not controversial, unless it's a commentary, sometime and then people put in, but people comment if you share it on Facebook. So the comments have moved to on social media, on Facebook, and then LinkedIn, I'll get comments on article, but no more on the article itself. Very interesting, because then you have to go to the article and see it. Right? Whereas if you share a comment on Facebook, other people will see it also. So you see, when you write a comment, you want people to know you've put a comment in. That's the psyche of the person who's putting in a comment. Nobody wants to put in a comment. I say, I hope nobody sees it, right? You want people to know your opinion, maybe not that, but you want people to know that this is your opinion about something. So and social media, because the platform, it gives you the ability to do that.
Unless it's political, like Malaysia to you, right?
Malaysia Kini.
People
have an inexhaustible reservoir of anger and angst and frustration. 1 million times you can put, amno koyala, damno like this. I see that all the time. I respect this guy. It's one very angry guy.
But then our friends coming back from Sabah.
The news feed gives you a constant. The news feed, right, when it's politics, gives you a constant flame to keep your frustration boiling, right?
And that's where everybody has an opinion.
So you are for technology, it's not. There's no abrasive person out there, boiling your anger. So that's why I understood. At first, I was disappointed when I went to digital. I thought, great, people comment on stories, and I always urge on BFM, people comment, put your comments on the story, be part of the conversation. But people don't.
Yeah, and I think because it's more factual in a way, people don't want to sound silly, right?
Yeah.
To put out something there that
people
don't.
But I really think it's not silly. It's your opinion. But but
not everybody feels that way, right?
Correct. Not strongly enough. So, but you see the comments sometimes on social media. So that's my biggest disappointment with being a journal on digital. The interaction with your audience is so minimal. And that's frustrating because I think the reader should be part of the process of you molding you as a journalist. And nobody ever comments except to tell you sometimes, you got something wrong very gently, or they never say this was wrong, I want you to correct it or what. And even from the age, especially in print, right? So my point is, readers never hold the journalist or the media accountable for a story. Very seldom. Because I think if people would have complained about my stories, or maybe not complain, give me feedback from an early age, I 100% today would be 3 times the journalist that I am, because people complain, I was right, I was sloppy lah. I didn't do my proper background, I didn't add that point in, right? So beautiful. And then you out there, you get a way better stories from those journalists, because you've been part of the process. But nobody sees that they should have a role to play. They think journalists, okay, you present it to us, we read, whether we don't like, if we like, we share. That's it. Not be part of the process molding a journalist. And that's too bad lah. But it's a global thing and not just Malaysia.
So do you see a Karamjit Junior out there coming up the ranks?
No, not Karamjit Junior, but I do want to mentor at least two journalists, right? To be in the mold of being their bravery comes from wanting to tell the truth, because sometimes when I write commentaries, and I think 3 years ago I wrote a commentary about Irwan where I thought his gem thing was he was doing
remember
gem.
that.
Oh yeah,
It was
people remember that. So
Yeah.
and then so some people say, oh, Karam, you're very brave. I say it's
So
actually
what's
not
the
about being
impact or something, right? You were saying, right? There's another project money is going to put in, right?
something.
But
I wrote
what's
something,
happened?
but then I lost some money because some of the government agencies stopped sponsoring me, and I don't blame them. Fine, but I was
Their
not
prerogative.
motivated by fear. I say, hey, I think this is wrong, and it was not that harsh article also, but in an environment where nobody even tells you something critical, when somebody does, it's magnified. Wow, this fellow said like that, and then that's the story people want to share. But the point is that it was because I think I believe this is wrong for the ecosystem. You need to correct your path a bit. I'm not saying sack him or sack this person, right? Correct the path.
It's just the initiative.
But when powerful people, you say something wrong, they don't like, and then all the people who support them also will chucho fire. Wow, how dare he say something? Those are some of people who know me. Hey, how dare the guy say something? I didn't care lah. Right, I believed it, right? And then you do it lah. So, but I want to bring two journalists or two people who want to tell stories, who want to do their stories well and do them right. And to do them well and right, you must want to have a strong sense of telling the truth, right? Not be afraid of that, and you just want to have the ability to. I want to tell this story the best way. So so you do that, and if you have that I cannot teach, I cannot drill into you, right? You somehow must have that. Then I'll bring them along with me, mentor them, and say this is what I do, this is what I did wrong, and just kind of assimilate lah. Not like a structured process. In 5 days you can have the 90% of the things that helps Karamjit be a good journalist. Because I did it organically. Journalism does a poor job of mentoring you. I remember way back at the Edge, one of the senior journalists, I asked them for a contact because I wanted to reach somebody. And the person literally went like that. Say, why should I give you my contacts?
Wow,
And I think, and it was an instant thing. And we were colleagues, and I thought that was just the ugliest thing I'd seen in my career, even to now as a journalist. She wasn't being mean, but that had happened to her. So she thought,
that's just the environment. Right?
Correct.
You protect your sources.
Correct. Yeah, how come I give you, the Etika CEO's mobile number, right? I took so hard for me to build that confidence, get them, no. And I said, I will never do that. So whenever people join me, I said that at the end of 2 years, you will know 95% of what I know, or 95% of my contact you'll have. I say 95% because you're only human, right? So I'm not perfect. So maybe 5% I may end up saying, no, I cannot give this one. Or the person may say, Karam, no, I've known you for 2 decades, fine. Not this person, right?
Yeah.
So I will do that.
But you were saying that there's these two that you want to mentor, two that you have already.
No, not yet. At some point,
it's
not even a plan. It's a thought. It's not a plan yet. So plan me. Then I mention on my social media and look for two people, right? Because then somebody has to commit to wanting to be a journalist, right? And you got to spend 2 years, right? It doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy. Like there's one person who was a journalist with DNA, very good, and I told them that if you decide to make journalists your thing in life, I think I told the person in 3 years' time, 1,000 days, in 5 years' time, you will be the best tech journalist in Southeast Asia. Forget about just Malaysia. But unfortunately, the person didn't want to make journalism their thing in life. And it is a huge waste lah.
Yeah, but you need that, right? You need to have that commitment.
Of course, that passion, because otherwise,
because not every time is great, right?
Correct.
When times are tough, that's when your passion is tested.
No, in content, times always tough, okay? Trust me, times always tough, especially when you are responsible for paying people, you got a payroll. Times always tough, but it still shouldn't stop someone from wanting to be a journalist, because it's important to tell stories right and tell them well. People are still consuming content, right?
If you were to give a scale in Malaysia, 1 to 10, 10 being we are very open and direct, as opposed to 1 which is like control. And, what would you give Malaysia right now?
I would give us a 7.5. You look at all the online media, people, and even the print media under the previous Pakatan Harapan government, they were, their shackles were loose, right? And to the credit, this government also now doesn't control them or whatever. So I think the media has become, even before that, before the change of government last time, it was quite open. Malaysia Kini, you could say anything you want, practically a lot, and not just Malaysia Kini, all the other online portals also. Fine, in DNA, we've also written a few critical articles, right? So my commentary on Irwan, otherwise, no issues. Nobody calls you and say, hey, kami tak suka, muffled voice, jangan buat lagi.
We saw you.
Yeah, Black Maria. No lah, rubbish, man.
Good. But if you look at the evolution, right? If you look at Facebook and Twitter now. They're getting a lot of flack because of the politics over there. It's too
No,
hot,
because
right?
of the ability to influence people.
Yeah.
And because a lot of
but
people
which
are
also
very
means that
shallow.
they're gonna start controlling and they might start curating the content that goes on.
They
on
will
what they say,
already
right?
do, and government. I bet you, if the Democratic nominee wins, the Democrats will break Facebook, Google. I'm not sure. Facebook for sure. They'll definitely break because the U.S. government has a history of breaking huge monopolies, and Facebook is already a huge monopoly. Amazon, I don't know whether they'll do, but they'll definitely go after Facebook. I guarantee you. If there's a change in 4 years, that's my one prediction. They'll make efforts to break Facebook.
Split it up.
Yeah.
Or
Split it up.
at least have some regulators on
Stronger
them.
oversight. Or a government. Yeah, there must be. Yeah. They will. It will happen because they have become not their fault, right? Mark Zuckerberg didn't say one day I want to control how people think. No, it just has happened like that. But they'll break it. They'll cut it down to size for sure.
Okay, so I guess the next
We're
bit
past half an hour.
a little bit. So the next bit really okay lah. So we can close it off. Really is then looking forward lah, right? So for you, so DNA 8 years going to 9. So what next?
I
So
guess.
where
I
to
guess
now?
what next is I just want to keep doing DNA but doing it better because I'm not satisfied with where we are at or the stories we produce. I always think we should be able to do better. You know, like Cradle 3 days ago on their Facebook, they announced that they have the first batch of the Ignite 2. And then I went to their I saw it by accident. I went to their website. It wasn't on their website. On their website, and even under the media releases wasn't there. Then I messaged the comms person. I said, "Where's this release?" So they didn't issue a release, or they didn't send it to us, and that's like a dagger through my heart. You know, how can you don't
miss
send?
DNA?
How can you miss DNA? But apparently they didn't send it out, and
okay lah, not just you lah.
somebody picked it out on their Facebook line, just repeated it. But I say, this is so important. Why is it only on your Facebook, right? What's going on? So, and then I asked my team, hey guys, were you aware that, Cradle had it? Nobody is aware. I said, guys, as the media, we have failed then. As the tech media, this we should know. How come you all don't know? So that scares me, and that gives me it doesn't keep me awake at night, but it's disturbing to me that we were not aware of this. Then I messaged 2 influencers, ecosystem players, you know both of them, and said, bro, next time you know these things, please let me know. Hey, Karam, by the way, you know this or not? I said, we didn't know about this, and that hurts me.
Yeah.
I said, because I need to
You
bring
feel
it
like
to
you're
my
out of the loop, right?
Yeah, and I bring and people rely on DNA to tell them things, right? Because a lot of people won't know. Not everybody follows Cradle on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
We should be able to go to DNA for that, right? Yeah.
correct. So we had the platform already. So I want to do that. So these kind of things hurt me because professionally not personally, and
fair.
I want to do a better job. And probably our stories also we should always be able to do our stories better. And probably the idea is maybe if we had a bit more, if our cash flow was a bit better, then I want to have a full-time journalist in Indonesia because now I couldn't afford it. No, I had one, then she quit because the family wanted her to help them run a restaurant back in her hometown. Being a daughter, she had no choice but to follow. This is your centennial, still had to follow.
Still,
Parents,
yeah.
Hey, we let you do mass comm journalist, now we want you back. Haul ass back to Medan. So poor thing go back. Then we didn't do anyone else there because then my investor said, Karam, you're not making money from Indonesia. Why have a headcount cost base there? But Indonesia, it's important to have the stories there. But I run the press releases from there, and we do interviews online with virtually, right? With some people there. So I would like to have a full-time person there, one in Singapore also.
Okay.
But the cash flow doesn't allow it. So we had to shrink down a bit also to be able to survive. Like Aaron Sarma was saying now, the key for all startups, all small companies is to make sure you're still standing January 1st.
Yeah.
And then maybe the climate is a bit better, more sunshine coming through the clouds. Then you are one of the few who can then try to thrive.
Yeah. If you can survive this period, later on you should be okay.
But touch wood for me, thanks to this old-fashioned print product, we've got the cash flow to survive till December. January 1st will still be standing.
I was actually going to ask, okay, I got 2 last questions, promise. The first one was, so with the COVID and all that, how did that impact you guys?
Oh, it's bizarre, right? So it didn't impact us that much because, of course, people were not spending money, fine, but the ability to do the job was the same. You're interviewing people online over the phone. No, it did not disrupt at all. People doing virtual press conferences now. In fact, my first physical appointment after the MCO, 10 minutes into the conversation with someone, I say, my God, this is so pointless. We could have done this online, right? The interaction there didn't make a difference at all. So it's like, wow, it's amazing, man. So we are lucky if you're a journalist, right? Any form of journalism, I think most of it you can, unless you're an automotive journalist, okay, you need to test the product, right? But we don't have to. And then people can give you the laptop, they can send it to your house, right? You're testing it. So for tech journalism, the lockdowns all over the world, I think didn't affect the ability. But it hit you from revenue, like nobody's spending money. But it's during the MCO that I managed to sell. Maxis came in as a sponsor for Digitality 50. First time ever we got a main sponsor. Crazy, yeah. And then I thought they would change their mind. They didn't, to their credit, right? So that's fantastic, man. But because also they like the product is good, right? So not they said it, not me, okay? Not me, yeah. not me. They said it.
I was tempted to just bring it up.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
There you go. Digitality 50.
Yeah,
It's
so
we
only feature entrepreneurs, by the way, no professional managers. Yeah, we want to only feature because they're the ones, like I said, who are crazy, right? Take the risk, right? Suffer sleepless nights, have to worry about cash flow and getting the strategy right.
You put yourself on the cover.
No, of course not. Crazy, yeah. No. Interesting, you said that in the first edition, somebody had a copy. They said, Karam, this list is not complete. I said, why? He said, you should be there. I said, no lah. Journalists should be behind the scenes.
Always like
I believe so, yeah.
Except for today.
Yeah, except for today. No, we should always be behind the scenes. So that's your role. That's why also then a lot of people trust you with information, right? So you become a custodian, a trusted source. You can never betray that.
Okay, last one. So you think if you look at the mirror now, what would the reflection say?
Karam, you showed some balls, man. Good for you.
Good job, man.
Really, yeah. I think chakade, man. Chakade. So now only regret will be you didn't do things right or well enough, right? You didn't.
It's a journey, right?
Yeah, it's a journey, but I have not improved in. Actually, I have not improved in the business part of it. Totally sucked, right? So you never chase people for money. And then my investor, then his CFO said, Karam, if after 3 years people haven't paid you, don't go after them, just write it off. But there's money there, you did work for them, but you didn't chase them. So the good thing about me, I always look at myself first. What did I do wrong to make somebody angry at me, right? Something, and a lot of times it's you. And I just never, and I failed to improve the business part. Maybe I've improved about 10%. But when you start from zero, fucking 10% or 20% is nothing, right? They use the effort. Okay, better edit that out. But, so that's poor form on my part. So that's if I do leave and end up doing something else, and I don't entertain the thought, but if it ends up happening, I will regret that I didn't do the business, I didn't improve. I cannot nail it, but I didn't do the business part well enough.
Well, there's time.
Yeah.
There is time to do that still,
True. Yeah.
So good luck with that.
Thanks a lot.
Now hopefully, next couple of months, next year, we'll come back and then see how you're doing.
Okay, can. More concise. Background all done already.
Let's keep it an hour.
Just jump in straight away, man. Karam, how is DNA different after 1 year? It's not.
Cannot lah.
End of story.
The business is better.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Okay, man.
Hey, thanks a lot, bro. Appreciate it. Yep.
Right,
and good luck with you being, providing innovative solutions to Etika also, man.
I hope I need it. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Thanks.